Hey everybody, Msfs Simmer here. So we're here at Wilkes-Barre Airport in Pennsylvania, and we are heading down to Echo Park Speedway, which is Atlanta Motor Speedway, back in the day. I am trying to use FSLTL for the first time here in 2024. I think I got it working. We'll be able to tell a little bit more later. We do have planes around, but when I loaded in, there were some planes already there. Hey, how are you this morning? We're going to go ahead and take people down. You can see we're about 600 miles. Now, there's a little bit of a challenge. Fly Studio, which is what I do to give you the data bar at the top, doesn't have Kilo Hotel Mike Papa on it for whatever reason. So I can't give you the exact distance. So I found one close to it, which is Fulton County. And we're going to go ahead and, use that as our solution here. So it's a little further, so we'll have a little bit less distance to go. But I'm just going to go ahead and get us fired up here. So Chase Briscoe won the Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono this past weekend here on Saturday morning. The race is Saturday night, so this is going to be a little bit tighter schedule than normal. Normally we're flying in on Saturday, but the race is until Sunday. So we're counting on no issues for our folks so that we don't have any problems. Not really anticipating anything. Got our APU firing up as always. And I just need to pull our flight plan into the EFB. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'm going to have to adjust a few things, I think. We will go from there.
November 245, Mike Charlie climb and maintain 10,000 feet.
Climbing to 10,000 feet. November 245, Mike Charlie.
Alright, so flight plan there. Should be okay. We're going to BZM, then we're going to views, then we're going TFalls. We're going to remove this waypoint so that they connect. The rest of this we're okay with because we're going to go ahead and grab what we need. Let me get center in here, 12485, that's accurate. So we're going to call for clearance. Wilkes-Barre Center, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Atlanta Speedway Airport.
Clearance on request, stand by.
Alright, so let me just go here, flight plan, do VNAV, alright, VNAV enabled.
Walker 4021, cleared to Atlanta Speedway. Radar vectors, Wilkes Bar, Wilkes, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 32010 minutes after departure. Departure on 120.905, squawk 3326.
Cleared to Atlanta Speedway, radar vectors Lima Victor Zulu, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 32010 minutes after departure. Departure on 120.95, squawk 3326, Walker 4021. Alright, so we've got things dialed in. There we go, 4,000. We should be able to get the flight director on. VNAV, LNAV. I think we're all set there. Just want to go ahead. Alright, so we're just going to want this kind of there. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves activated. My Navigraph here so I can follow along. And again, we're going to 2-2. So we're just basically going to turn around and head off of Bravo. But yeah, we've got a little over 600 nautical miles. Should be a relatively short flight here. But let's go ahead and get everything prepared. Get those guarded. Start this up. The APU should be on. Yes, it is. Okay, we're firing up. So, for some other series, hopefully if you haven't had a chance to catch the latest A Pilot's Life series, it debuted a new feature, a new add-on. Super excited about. It's unavailable for a plane like this. I mean, you might have a first officer, but you know, it's obviously less complex and so forth. But you know, it stops me having to worry about all this, and as a pilot, I could just focus on the flight plan and let the first officer do everything else. But don't have that option here, so we're going to go ahead and, whoops. You know, and same thing, like engine start would be handled by them, and all those things would be nice, including turning on the autopilot and all of that. When it was time and when we took off, raising our gear, doing all of that stuff. So I'd encourage you to go take a look at that. Whenever I fly the PMDG 737 series, you will likely see that enabled. I'm still testing things. I'm doing a few things here and there. Alright, let me just call in. Center ready for taxi. Walker 4021. So we should be all set. I just
Walker
need to lower the
4021,
flaps.
contact ground for taxi instructions.
Is there a ground? Oh, I do see it. It's just further down the list than normal. Silly me. Alright, they're at 121.9. 121.9. Wilkes-Barre ground. Walker 4021, ready to taxi.
Walker 4021, Wilkes-Barre ground, taxi to runway 22 via Charlie, Bravo, cross runway 10, then Bravo 6.
Taxi to runway 22 via Charlie, Bravo, cross runway 10, then Bravo 6. Walker 4021. Alright. So, and this is the stuff I always forget. Trying to be a bit more diligent. But, again, normally you'd be, someone else would be worried about it, not me. So, here go we. So, good to see good amount of aircraft around. Let's see what else comes of things here. So there we go. We've got our taxi. So I guess they're taking us out a slightly different way than I may have expected. I see. Actually, there really isn't another way out of here. Now that I look at this map a little closer, I thought I could turn all the way around. What's my problem? Ooh. Frame rate is a little bit, leaves a little to be desired here. So it does remind me, not sure I have one add-on running here, which does smooth things a little bit. Hopefully it won't cause things to crash starting it later. But not sure if it's operating. It's not quite there yet. Oof. This is brutal. My goodness. I don't understand what's happening. Usually this isn't this stuttery. It was 10 FPS. It's now, and I think it's doing some things to reduce some stuff down. Now in theory it's 55 FPS, but yeah, there's a add-on called Auto FPS that I was introduced to, and I tend to use that regularly because it'll adjust your settings on the fly to give you the maximum joy, I suppose we'll say, out of the sim by reducing, say, terrain level of detail, OLD as well, and then...
Walker 511, Hotel Alpha, hold short of taxiway Bravo, awaiting further instructions.
Holding short of taxiway Bravo, Hawker 511, Hotel Alpha.
Alright, so...
Cessna 65 Whiskey, read back correct?
I mean, I've got my
Ground American 1073.
power down here.
American 1073 Wilkes Barre, ground taxi to parking at your discretion. Have a good day.
Alright, so we've got Parky. Parky? Jesus. I can't speak. We've got the parking brake on. So, I'm going to switch to tower here. 1201. Alright. Wilkes-Barre Tower, runway 22, Walker 4021, ready for takeoff.
Walker 4021, Wilkes-Barre Tower, runway 22, winds calm, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Alright, sadly, I just remembered. Runway 22, cleared for takeoff, Walker 4021. That I had not started my flight tracker. That would have been really irritating. Alright, I think we're good now, so we can go ahead and continue as if we knew what we were doing. But we'll go back there, get our landing lights on, make sure our flaps are set, everything is good. So away we go. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize how valuable the auto FPS is for, because yeah, like literally when it kicked in I was at 10 frames a second, so that's why things were as herky-jerky as they were. Now we're sitting here at 63, so this thing is pretty sweet. Alright, so we're lined up and we are gonna head off here. So we'll spool up. I don't know that I set my barometer correctly, but we'll worry about that on the way back. I'm a little sloppy trying to get this flight going, but should have about 500 extra pounds of fuel. Alright, there we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Get ourselves a little higher. We're going to fly straight for a bit. Just follow the runway heading. We're going to do that. We're going to engage the auto throttle. We're going to put the flaps in so that
Walker 4021, contact departure.
Contact departure, Walker 4021. Alright, and they are at 12095. Alright, I'm not quite sure why this is slowing down like that, but anyway. Departure, Walker 4021 with you.
Walker 4021, Wilkes-Barre departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 320, turn left heading 105, vectors to Wilkes Barre, Wilkes, then own.
Departure, climb and maintain flight level 320, turn left heading 105, vectors to LVZ, then own navigation, Walker 4021. Alright, so we're quickly going to come down here, we're going to go direct, we're going to activate direct, and it should start turning, which it is, so there you go. I don't know that it's going to go to 105, 205 would make sense, I think. Oh, I see. LVZ is behind us. So maybe I think that's right, I took off to the north, so that makes sense. So, but we are basically following, I think, what it's suggesting. Good news is, we're climbing quickly. So, pretty nice sunny day. Basically should be circling the airport. Let's see if we can get a visual. It's stuttering quite a bit. So yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure where we took off from, so apologize for not being able to determine that. But in any event, we're going way around. Now, I don't understand, because it looks like it's... Is it going to LVZ? Because now I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it would be. Alright, there it is. But then it looks like I should be going the other way, which is a little crazy. But we'll see what it looks like. I am on nav, I am on... Like, I don't totally understand. And maybe we're cycling around all the way, like it took us to LVZ, because yeah, now it's going to MRB. Which should be a ways away, because now I have this, so 150 nautical miles. So yeah, we literally spun in a circle for, I don't know, maybe I must have already overflown LVZ is the issue. And I knew it was close to the airport, but I guess I didn't realize it was that close. Alright, so we got the standard barometer. While I'm thinking of it, we'll go ahead and get, doesn't look like we have any ATIS there, but let's see, 3024. So we'll get that dialed in so we're close on the other end. We're going to 32,000. So we'll fix that. That adjusts. I noticed it was...
Contact New York Center on 132.175.
Alright. Contact New York Center 132.175, Walker 4021.
UPS 058. Descend and maintain 15.
New York Center, Walker 4021 with you. Flight level 220, climbing flight level 320. Alright, so
Walker
now
4021, New York Center, good morning.
Now we are kind of leveling out. So yeah, we had passed LVZ was the problem. So yeah, was not a great use of my time. But yeah, we're kind of heading toward an intercept here, and then should turn to the right and you know, get some things out there. But I don't think there was any weather between here and Atlanta. We might be turning out. We're already turning. So, but locking in on the path, and then we will just be heading out for another 130 miles or so. But these do tend to be somewhat uneventful flights. That's the goal. So, but just getting it in so that for this Saturday we'll be able to do it. And then next race will be after July 4th. So, because normally this would be a June 29th race, but again, it's a night race, so they're doing it on a Saturday. And I'm not sure, I haven't been really keeping up with NASCAR myself that much, so was a little surprised when I saw it called Echo Park. And actually the first time I saw it was when I was doing my iRacing for this week, and was like, oh wait, it's not Atlanta Motor Speedway anymore. So obviously they got some naming rights, and I'm sure they got some cash there and all that. But just about up. In theory, we're still maintaining about 50 frames per second, which is more than adequate. So definitely nice to see that. But yeah, we are now firmly established on our flight path, and we should be able to get to Atlanta without too much difficulty. So that is what I will try to do. Likely be about an hour that you're gonna not be involved, but coming up on 600 nautical miles to go. I will see you in a bit. Welcome back. We are descending now, about halfway through our descent right now. Say Intentions has cleared us through 15,000. Now I ran upon some real-life road blockers that had me pause for over an hour.
Expect direct waypoint Tango India Mike in 5 minutes.
So yeah, I don't know.
Direct to Tango India Mike in 5 Spirit 792.
So I'm not sure if Say Intentions will pick up again. It should, but we'll see. So far everything else is working smoothly. But we're going to pass through transition here, so I'm going to go ahead and change that so that we get the increase, because at 3024 it's a lot higher. Let me just make sure that's still where we're at. No, it's 3020 now. But hopefully they'll clear us beyond 15. If they don't, I may do something on my own. We'll see. I'm kind of going into the chart to see. Because, yeah, honestly, a Dahan, which is after Austin, we're supposed to be at 8,000. So that's definitely not good. So I don't know, if I get below like 15.5, I may just start dialing it down, and we'll go through there, because it cleared me to 230 and then very quickly turned around and said descend and maintain 15,000. And then I had my delay. Alright, I do want to get this down to, say, 247. So with flight level change, it'll start to level out. It'll let it slow down. And then it'll start descending again. But because at 10,000 we need to have, we need to be at 250. I just kind of want to make sure I have that set right and so forth, so that we don't have a problem. Alright, so there we go, and now you can see the descent rate is increasing again. You can even visually tell the nose is dropping down, and we'll probably start going back down, 3,600, 3,650 I think is what we were at.
Walker 4021, Atlanta Center, descend and maintain 6,000. Altimeter 30.18.
Alright, and I do have
Descend and maintain
Sarah
6,000.
handling things as well.
Altimeter 3018.
Because again,
Walker 4021.
we can't easily change things as we're coming in.
Walker 4021, contact Atlanta approach on 128.575.
Because I'm doing too much on the airplane, trying to get things going, instead of trying to drop down to the radio and flip.
Atlanta
It's too
approach
hard.
on 128.575, Walker 4021.
Okay, I don't think I ever turned off my landing lights. I did not, so we're good. Alright, so this is awesome. And again, then we're going to go to
Atlanta
Daehan.
approach, Walker 4021. Good afternoon. We're descending through 15,000 feet down to 6,000.
Walker 4021, Atlanta approach. Good afternoon, Atlanta Speedway, altimeter 30.18.
Alright, so we're adjusted and dialed in.
1203. The traffic ahead of you and to your left is going to the left heavy Airbus. Contact tower on 119.7.
Okay. So Daehan in 10 miles.
1203.
We would like to be down to 8,000. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that.
210.
Now what I can do, probably, is put the speed brake on, and that might help me.
Skylane 56 Foxtrot, I need to amend your flight.
Because that
Can you tell me
should
your
slow me
destination?
down and let me drop the nose faster to descend a lot quicker and not exceed the speed. So you can see we've got this huge red line because we're basically falling like a brick now. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my landing. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. I want my landing monitor. So you can see we're at a 15-degree angle. So if we were on self-loading cargo, we'd be in really big trouble here. But, yeah, once we get below, 10,000 or something, then I'll feel a lot better. Well, maybe I'll just get us to 9 and then we'll be good, because we are already 7 miles, but in 3 miles we fell 4,000 feet, which normally you're doing 1,000 feet, so we're basically at 4 times the descent rate. Yeah, it's working out nicely. So we'll put these up, and then it's going to start to speed up, so it's going to pull the nose up really fast now, and then we'll see what kind of descent we get, but because it really shouldn't be below 8. It's basically expecting right at 8 at Daehan, but it doesn't appear to have that locked in. At least I don't think it does. We'll see if it... Okay, it's starting to slow down, and therefore it'll drop the nose to speed up a little bit. But, again, maybe it'll only be 1,800, but we're 5 miles out. Now at least I feel like we've caught up with the slope, because the top of descent was kind of not working well again. It's just seems to be a challenge in this longitude to get that to function appropriately. But if I'm down there, and then at the RNAV, we have what? We call it Kavp and Hamp, and that is 2,600 feet there. So we've got to get from 6,000 to the remainder. Let me pull up. I kind of got the flight plan over there, so but yeah, so we've still got a few. We got to go through a couple more waypoints, and then we go to Kavp. So we've got time, that's for sure. Now looking at my auto FPS, okay, now it's down to 23 frames a second. It's definitely struggling a little bit, trying to catch up. Now 32, 35, 36, 39, so it's you know, I'm sure dropping down, making some adjustments. It also helps if I'm not like looking
United
around.
229, turn left, heading 220 vectors for sequence.
0 United 29. Seneca 7 Charlie, Mike, contact DeKalb, Peachtree Tower on 120.9 up.
Alright. So now we're flattening out at 6. But we've got to get through T-Falls and with? I don't know. Is that what we'll call it? With? But yeah, I think we just keep going straight, go to T-Falls. And it's accelerating because now we're leveled out and we don't have speed because of descent. It's getting me up to 247 that we were at. Which is fine because I want to go as quickly as I can, but again, below 10,000, the standard is usually to stick at below 250. That's what's approved, so 2.5 miles to T-Falls. You know, and our ground speed at this point, at this rate, is, you know, 281 knots, so it's not great. But just a lot happening around here, around Atlanta. So we're going to kind of turn along the edge of the population areas. We're going to end up going across some of the water. But now, again, this is because we're going, like T-Falls is close, but then, you know, we'll be going to that with, I don't know, it's Whiskey Tango Hotel, so. And then from there, we basically do a pretty lengthy, it's probably going to be 20 or 30 miles, to then get on the RNAV approach to the runway. And so at that point, like, they'll probably vector us over, but I have it set in the autopilot to kind of take us there, so it should be okay. But you can see we're a little under 7 miles. So yeah, I think it's easily going to be 30. So this is taking us toward, if you're familiar with Atlanta at all, I am not. I'm just looking at my Navigraph map. But basically be a northeast suburb, Sugar Hill, of Atlanta. And then we're kind of going to go straight south from Sugar Hill. And then come join the approach. So you can see Abbott on there. So I don't know if it's going to take us in here and over. It may, but we'll see what happens when we get to the, you know, to with. But yeah, at this speed it feels like molasses compared to how we were eating up miles before. Yeah, I mean, we haven't even gone a mile since I started to say that. So yeah, even though we're going 200 miles, you know, it's still basically 3 miles a minute, so it still takes 15-20 seconds to go a mile. So it's a far cry from when we're going over 500 knots.
UPS 901, heavy contact center on 133.5, good day.
Contacting center on 133.5. Good
we've
day.
got,
UPS
again, a
901
couple
heavy.
of these kind of legs here, and then we're going to head out west again. So we're going to have a long leg coming up soon. I'm really debating, honestly, just including a lot more flight content, because there's just so many tours and so many things I'd like to do. But I'm usually doing other things. I just don't know. Like I said, I struggle with, you know, what are people watching? I know there's definitely people who like the truck simulator stuff, and it's not that I don't enjoy doing it. There's just so much, it's just a lot more challenging to do the flight thing, to some degree. I mean, obviously once you're airborne and cruising, you're just waiting, so there's not much to be doing, but So not sure, but we'll see. So it looks like the ground's about 900 feet because we're 5,100 feet above ground level. You can see on the landing monitor. Alright, and the scattered clouds in theory are almost above us. There's scattered clouds at 5,000 feet, but there were scattered clouds at 6,500 feet and 8,000 feet. But right now it's reporting visibility of 10 statute miles, which is pretty much clear sky. So the altimeter on Navigraph has changed to 3019er. I don't know if it's going to ask us to do anything there, but obviously using some of our thrust to turn. So you can see it kind of was a little quieter. Now we're going to speed it up a bit. But at this point, yeah, we got 40 miles, so I'm going to not make you sit with me here. I'm going to cut this out until we get closer to the approach or something starts happening. So I'll see you in a bit.
Walker, 4021. Radar services terminated. Atlanta Speedway Airport at your 2 o'clock, 12 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Squawk VFR. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach this frequency. Safe flight.
Alright, so you just heard we got cancellation of our services, so we're getting close here. We're coming up on Y-butt, I think is what they called it when they talked to each other. But 6 miles to go, and then it will turn. It's interesting, because on the chart it looks like we're coming in, well, even here it looks like we're coming in differently, so that is a bit, so yeah, let me turn a little more, whoops, let me turn a little more sharply to the left. I want to hit this sooner rather than later.
Walker, 4021. Atlanta Speedway Airport at your 1 o'clock, 10 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach this frequency.
Air Canada 1203. The traffic ahead of you and to your left is going to the left heavy Airbus. Contact tower on 119.7.
Traffic in sight switching to 119.7, Air Canada 1203.
Hopefully it's turning.
Walker 1024, Atlanta approach radar contact.
So we are 10 miles out, so we're going to lower our gear. We're going to lower our flaps.
Skylane 56 Foxtrot, cleared into the Atlanta Class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at 4500.
So in theory, we're lining up. I'm not sure. I mean, it does have glide path. Because, yeah, we should get to Kavp-Khmp at 2600. I'm just not necessarily seeing the runway there. So we're gonna get ourselves down to 160 here. That will help. Alright, so it's coming down. Oh, it looks like maybe we overshot. Yeah, that's probably there. Alright, so at this point we can go full flaps. So 6 miles, we're getting close. Let's see, will it grab the glide path or will it not? Is going to be the real question. There we go, it did. Alright. So that's the most important thing.
4021, Atlanta Speedway Airport at your 12 o'clock, 6 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach this frequency. Have a good afternoon.
Alright, so I don't know what distance it's telling you on the toolbar. I don't have that in front of me. Nor do I really want that in front of me, but there we go. I was getting a resource GPU maxed out at some point, which I've not seen before, so maybe way too much happening around on and around the airport. In theory, FSLTL is still doing things. But we are less than 5 nautical miles out, regardless of what it's telling you at this point. You can see we're obviously 1,300 feet above ground level. So let's see, we'll slow down. See if I can get myself down to like 120. I think I can do that. As long as it stays stable. Yeah, there's a green dot lower, so technically can get down to like 110, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And I assume it'll then throttle up at some point, so.
Bonanza 77 Tree Delta Echo traffic at 1 o'clock, Tree miles eastbound, altitude unknown.
For traffic, 77 Tree Delta Echo.
Alright, so you can see the throttle starting to come up.
Walker, 4021, Atlanta Speedway Airport at your 1 o'clock, 3 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach this frequency.
Not sure why she's not responding to that, but alright, so we're going to set this. We're going to turn off autopilot. And we're going to bring ourselves in here. Because at this point we're a little low, I think. Which is why it's giving us the glide path problem. So I think I may have been going a little too slow. So we're going to throttle these engines up a bit. I'm going to make sure I'm aligned. Alright. Don't understand why we're so close, but okay. Alright, it should stop in a little bit, because you can see it's coming down, but yeah, we were definitely lower than we wanted, so there we go. We've lost the alarm. We obviously do want to get down, so it's going to require us to pull back here. I feel like I'm off. So the racetrack's off to the left. We've been in here before.
Walker, 4021, Atlanta Speedway Airport at your 2 o'clock, 1 miles. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Alright.
Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach this frequency.
Finally getting
Take
the
care.
Pappies kind of lining up the way we want. So, should be alright soon. We want 2 whites, because we're technically a little high. There we go. So now we'll try to aim, get ourselves in.
50, 40, 30, 20.
And now we'll retard the whole way.
10.
And just kind of float out of the air, hopefully. Come on. Alright. So we're on the ground. And we're good. So get the flaps up. Get the engines moving so we continue to rotate around.
FedEx 1296 cleared, visual approach, runway tree 6 right, maintain 170.
Should be okay.
Cleared visual runway tree 6 right, maintaining 170 FedEx 1296.
Yeah, we definitely floated more than I would have liked to have done, so I'm not a fan of how that all ended up. But we'll get ourselves off the runway. Not sure why it's struggling so much to move. It just seems to not be moving much. But yeah, we'll get ourselves off the runway and we will wrap this one up. Because there's no real reason to drag this one on. It's a pretty basic setup here. So, get our brakes on. Got the engine down. And we are here in Hampton. Again, the racetrack is off over there through the tree line. So, hope you've enjoyed this leg. You know, we'll be heading out of here next week again. But the Walker NASCAR VIP transport continues. And I will see you next time.